Raise your hands if this has ever happened to you. You wake up in the morning and nothing has changed. You're still in doubts, you're still confused, you're still anxious, you're still depressed, and it doesn't seem like anything is working out. You thought you had it all figured out. You had some ideas in your head, but the minute you put pen to paper, it no longer flows and you have to start all over again. Meanwhile, just the other day, you check on social media and everyone seems to have their life together, Your mates from the university, they now have their lives figured out. They're in a good job, some of them have started businesses, some of them are married with kids, some of them just bought a house. Everyone seems to be moving forward and doing so well in life except you. Recently, I've been thinking about the topic of feeling behind in life and how that thought really gripped me when I was 25, because when you're 25, you're just 25 more years away from 50. So I felt like I'd lived at least 1/4 of my life and I really couldn't point exactly what I had achieved at that point. When I was much younger, I was doing so well in class, I was doing so well in school that I felt that once I graduate from school, I would start shining, and by 25, I would have everything all figured out. I will have my 6-figure income, I'll be married, maybe have a kid. I felt that everything would balance out and at 25, I'll be doing great things. But little did I know that being an overachiever in school or being the first in class doesn't equate to being the first in life. It's a whole different ball game in the school of life. It's a whole different rule and life doesn't play fair. And sometimes you start wondering, what exactly are you doing wrong? In spite of yourself, you start comparing your life. You start comparing your life to your friends on social media. You start comparing your life to people that you don't even know, that you have no clue about. You start comparing your life to the 16-year-old you saw the other day on TikTok that is killing it. And they don't seem to be putting so much effort, yet they're doing so well. But here you are feeling so behind and feeling so down. I have been there before. I know what it feels like. But this is not a you problem. This is a universal problem. If you ask anyone, at least at some point in their lives, they have felt this way. They felt like they wouldn't amount to anything. They felt like everyone was doing fine and they are just not moving forward. They are stuck. And when I think about the topic of feeling behind in life, there are two things that I think about. I think about success and I think about age. And so if I don't achieve a particular thing at a particular age, then I wasn't successful. This puts a whole lot of pressure on us to perform. And when we don't perform, when we don't achieve certain things by certain age, it makes us fearful. It makes us doubt ourselves and doubt in our abilities. When you're down and out, you can barely do anything because you spend your time in bed in grief, regretting your life and just comparing over and over and over again. If you're currently in that stage of your life right now, I'm here to tell you that it is okay and also share with you 3 acts that has helped me whenever I feel like I'm in that situation where I am just stuck in comparing myself to others and I'm not moving forward. The first thing that I do is to have a mindset shift, because it is absolutely impossible for you to get out of that state without having a mindset shift. I do this by speaking positive affirmations to myself. And I know it sounds cheesy, I know it sounds like something from a motivational book, but it does work. We often underestimate how much we put ourselves down and how much we don't trust in our own abilities. Before my positive affirmations, I often think to myself, I don't think that I can have the qualities that I admire in that person. I don't think that I can travel the world. I don't think that I have the talent and the skills to move myself from where I am to where I want to be. And that is the reason why I start by changing my mindset, because I know that whatever I want to manifest in the physical, I have to manifest it within myself first. I have to believe it 100% that I can can live the life of my dreams, that I can do so much more than I am allowing myself to do right now. It's called being fully persuaded. I learned that word 12 years ago. And once I'm able to get past myself, that is when the transformation begins. The second thing that I do is to understand time and seasons. We make a terrible mistake of not understanding the time and the seasons of our lives. The moment that I was able to understand the time and the season of my life, that was when things took off for me, because I started to understand the concept of my seed time and my harvest time. I'm going to use the analogy of when you plant a seed. When you plant a seed and you water it, no matter how much you water it, it's going to take the amount of time it's going to take to grow. And so I know that no matter how much effort I put into something, I am currently in my seed time. I'm in my seed time, I am planting, I am watering, but it will take the amount of time that it's going to take for that seed to germinate. And I have been able to nail it to a science where I understand the seed time of my life and the harvest time of my life. Personally, for me, I know that it takes between 4 years to 7 years for something major to happen in my life. It takes that amount of time for a major shift to happen in my life. And I think it is completely normal, because I've had to read the works of other people that are doing so well in life, and I have heard them say things like, I am lucky because I spent 10 years owning my craft. I am lucky because I spent 15 years owning my craft. And I have found that it applies in my life as well. But I know that in this period of my life, between this 4 to 7 years, I am planting so many seeds. And by the time it is harvest time, I am reaping so many rewards. When you have, first of all, that mindset shift, and you then understand the times and the seasons of your life, you'll be able to know and understand which of the seeds you need to plant, so that in the next 4 to 7 years, or whatever season of your life that is, you have a bountiful harvest. One of the mistakes that I made was not understanding that whenever I'm feeling that way, that was my seed time. That was the time that I needed to take action. That was the time that I needed to pull myself up. But what I find that I was doing was just complaining and dragging my feet and spending time in bed and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and before I know it, it is night time and I have not achieved anything. Instead, I have contributed my energy, my resources, my time to making someone else's life better. So it doesn't matter if you're 30 years old right now and you're just learning a new skill that will propel your life forward. The most important thing is that you started learning that skill and you're taking gradual steps towards your goal. I know how difficult it is, especially when you have to kind of compete with people that are younger than you are. I feel like sometimes the goal that I'm working towards right now are the same goals that a 20-year-old is currently working towards. And that kind of creates an invincible competition in my head. But guess what? That doesn't demotivate me. Instead, it fuels my energy, because it reminds me of the energy that I had when I was 20-year-old. And finally, I want to share with you the shiny object syndrome, the feeling that you need to have what is in season or you're not there yet. Of course, we should all aspire to financial freedom, and there are some basic things that we need in our lives to actually have a good life. But we also need to put our focus on what is most important to us, what would make such difference and such impact in our lives, and not put so much focus and so much of our value on material things like having the latest iPhone, the latest MacBook, the latest car, the latest camera, the latest lights, the latest style and season, because these things will always change. There was a time where painting your house in different colors and hoarding different pieces of items and buying unique pieces from different countries to decorate your house was the style. But now everyone is embracing minimalism. Times change, people change, the world itself changes, and we need to stay true to what makes us happy. We need to stay true to what exactly is important to us, and we need to stay focused on our own goal. If you have watched to this point, I hope that these tips that have helped me will also help you as well. But I also want you to know that this is a gradual process, especially if you have been stuck in that position of, you know, feeling behind, not feeling good enough, not feeling like you're up to the task that you have set for yourself. It may take a while, but by using the tips in this video, I really hope that you get unstuck and you pull through, because everyone is just trying to figure life out. I'd really like to hear your thoughts about this video. At what point in your life did you feel behind in life, and what triggered these thoughts? Let's chat in the comments. Also, if you enjoy videos like this, make sure to subscribe and also like this video. Give it a thumbs up because it really helps out the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.